Let's take a look at two very interconnected processes, photosynthesis and cellular respiration. To understand these processes, we need to know what the basic elements are. The most important one is ATP, which is energy. It is used for all cell functions. ATP has 3 phosphates, while ADP has 2. Carbon dioxide is used in photosynthesis to build sugars. It is produced during cellular respiration, where it is a waste product. Water, or H2O, is essential to photosynthesis because it helps build a gradient of hydrogens, which we will look at later. It is another waste product in cellular respiration. Photosynthesis's waste product is oxygen. Cellular respiration uses this to receive free elements and to make water molecules. Glucose is a carbon chain that stores energy. It is broken down to release ATP. NAD is an electron carrier. It is called NADH when it is full of electrons. In photosynthesis, it is called NADP or NADPH. Hydrogen's purpose in both processes is to build a gradient, so ATP can be made. Photosynthesis uses sunlight to make sugar. Sunlight hits chlorophyll, which collects the electrons. As the electrons go through the photosystems, hydrogen is pumped through and a gradient starts to build. Water is also broken down to help build the gradient, and oxygen leaves as a waste. The hydrogens are pushed through an ATPase, which makes ATP as it turns. The ATP produced in the light reaction is used for the Kelvin cycle. 3 CO2s are taken in and combined with Rubisco. This is split up into 6 molecules called 3PGA. ATP and NADPH are used to change this into G3P, which is then used to build glucose. Only one G3P is used to make glucose, while the rest are recycled and made into RUBP. Taking the sugar made in photosynthesis and breaking it down into energy is called cellular respiration. The first process is glycolysis. Glucose has 2 phosphates from ATP added to it. This creates a very unstable molecule that splits into 2 molecules called G3P. The G3P has electrons taken off, and ATP is used to convert the molecule into pyruvate. Next we go to pyruvate oxidation. More electrons are taken off by NAD+. CoA is added, and a carbon is taken off in the form of CO2, which leaves with acetyl-CoA. The acetyl-CoA next moves to the Krebs cycle, so that the last electrons can be taken off. CoA is removed to start the cycle. Oxaloacetate joins with the remains of the molecule. The last 2 carbons from the original glucose are breathed out, and electrons are gathered by NAD. The remains are converted back to be reused as oxaloacetate. First, some energy is made in the form of GTP. FAD and its big brother NAD collect more free electrons, which leaves us with the original oxaloacetate. All the electrons collected are taken to the electron transport chain. This is where the real energy making happens. NADH drops off the electrons which move through the chain. FADH drops them off partway through, because these electrons have less energy. Once they are done, electrons bind to oxygen, which makes H2O, and the water leaves as waste. As the electrons go through, they pump through hydrogens, which builds a gradient. The high pressure forces them through ATPase, which spins to help make ATP, or energy. So, in summary, photosynthesis uses energy to make food, while cellular respiration uses food to make energy. In general, photosynthesis produces the oxygen needed for respiration, which in turn makes CO2 for plants. Both are dependent on the other, and would not be able to function on their own. Thank you.
Created using Powtoon.